Good day, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino Beer Review. You have the Rhino right here in Regina, Saskatchewan. That's right. I'm right here in Regina, Saskatchewan, and I'm drinking a beer from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. I'm drinking from Great Western, their black lager. 5% alcohol by volume. So here's the thing. I like Schwarz beers. I like Schwarz beers quite a bit. I like black lagers, I like black ales, I like stouts, I like porters, I like the dark beers, but black lagers have a special place in my heart. Best black lager I've had by far, excuse me about that burp, by the way, was the original Silversmith black lager. Don't know if it still stands up because they've changed brewmasters quite a bit. And whether or not a recipe stays the same, there's usually something, some nuance in the beer that changes with each different brewmaster that comes through the door. And there's been a few brewmasters since the original brewmaster of that beer. So I don't know if it still stands up, but I loved the beer. I loved it. So I'm really intrigued by this one. This was a 4-pack. I believe $13 for the 4-pack. So you're looking at like $3.25 a can. And I mean, that was $13 on Skip the Dishes. So whether or not that's the true, honest to God price of it or not, I don't know, because I need my wife to take me to an actual alcohol store so I can see the prices of things. But since I can't get there right now, this is what I do, right? So anyway, Great Western small batch. Oh, this is a small batch variant. Black lager. And again, they have on here the, if you have questions or comments or concerns, please call us, blah, 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 blah. What I can say is I've really loved my time in Saskatchewan so far. And with everything else that's going on in my life that's been in the dumps, this place has been not in the dumps. So that's great. Okay, first and foremost, at least looking at it coming out of the can, it doesn't look dark enough to be a black lager, but I haven't looked at it out of the glass yet. Like, that's a huge amber red coming out. Okay, yes and no, eh? Like, I would say it's a ruby red if I held it up top, but when I'm down here, on camera it looks black to me, but up here, it looks ruby red. Now, I don't know if the camera picks up the color as I pour it, but that's like a deep amber hue right there. Almost like I guess more chestnut brown. So I mean, I'm not sold that the SRM hits true black lager. Okay, I guess we're getting stuck on semantic. Well, I'm getting stuck on, I'd say we, as if you guys are the same stupidness as I am. I guess I'm getting stuck on semantics right here. If you tell me it's a black lager, I expect it to be black. Like, I expect to not see through it. I expect it to be as dark as the black blood of the earth. Oh, yeah. Little Big Trouble in Little China reference there. And that's not what this is. But, I mean, it's not that it's a bad color. I love that color. For me, visually appealing, for visual appeal, this is an amazing color. This is the color I wish my wife had, is rare. I love the color. I do. So the visual appeal is not affected at all to me by this. However, when you tell me it's a black lager and it looks like this, it is affected to me by that. I really like these cups too. They were from Amazon. I think they were $25 for 4, which to me is not a bad price. I might be able to find them now at a dollar store. I haven't been at a dollar store in like 6 years, so I don't know. Okay, I guess we should give it a sniff now, eh? And I haven't talked about the head at all. Beautiful mocha head. It has a nice body to it. Nice snap, crackle, pop going on there. Someday I'm going to get sued for snap, crackle, pop. Or I'm going to get a cease and desist. No, I'm not big enough for any of that, so it doesn't matter. It's a snap, crackle, pop. It's pop, 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 pop. Sent out of the can first. Chocolate, coffee, molasses. There's almost a black licorice scent on there, and as most of you know, if you've watched me a long time, I hate black licorice, but it's so minute in the back that I don't really care. Out of the glass. Coffee, tobacco, molasses, chocolate, and a little bit of toastiness. Slanche, let's try it. You know how you know that something has changed in my life? I'm doing these reviews, and they're taking a lot longer than they used to take. I mean, when I wasn't happy anymore, and all I wanted was a change in my life, these videos would take like 3 minutes, and now I can't shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. I mean, the people that watch me now watch me for these quick reviews. Yeah, I love it. You're back to old Rhino. Slanche. Okay. A little more, I'd say thin. Well, I was going to say I'd say watery, but thin is probably more the word for it. It's a little more thin than I expected, but at the same time, that's a solid black lager. As much as I went on for minutes upon minutes about the color, that's a solid black lager flavor. Little tiny touch of smokiness, nice bit of toasty and roastiness, a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of coffee. That's really nice. You know, when Silversmith first put out their black lager, their slogan was "Don't fear the dark." And I think a lot of people still to this day fear the dark beers, that they're going to be too much for them. And I don't know why they think that, because all in all, the epitome of dark beers is normally, to most people, Guinness. There's not a lot of flavor in a true nitro Guinness, which is what most people know. There's not a lot of flavor in it, so I don't know why you would fear the dark beers because of a Guinness. And if you fear the dark beers because of a Guinness, but then you get into something like Goose Island Bourbon County Bourbon Stout or something, and you're like, oh my god, this is what the fuck happened to you? Because that is the type of dark beer that should scare you. And I love that beer, but if you're going to give something to a novice beer drinker or somebody who's never really had a dark beer, that's the dark beer to be scared of, not a fucking Guinness. That being said, a lot more flavor than Guinness, obviously, but what I'm saying is, this is a beer that epitomizes the don't be afraid of the dark. Don't be afraid of the dark. This is a great beer. Dark beer or not, this is a beer that I could drink all day, every day. And I only have 3 more of them, which is too bad, because maybe I'll try and trade one with my buddy Brian. Maybe I'll try and trade a beer with him. And, you know, maybe I'll get some beers from him, and he'll get some beers from me. And maybe the beers I like the beers he has made. I don't know. It's good beer. And I wish this was in one of those 15 or 12 packs or something. But no, it was a 4-pack. By God, of course it was a 4-pack. Of course the best beer I've had since getting here was in a 4-pack. Of course it was. Of course it was. And that's something interesting to say too, because I've only reviewed, well, what, 1, 2, 3, 4... I'm trying to decide what I'm doing with my recyclables here, because there's this thing, Sarcan is a thing here, and you pay like 10 cents a can. It's a lot like the beer store, but it's on every can, pop, everything. And apparently a lot of people just try and pick up your Sarcan from you so they can return it, because a lot of people are like, I don't want to do. So I haven't decided what I want to do yet, but that's why I have all the cans still here, so I can tell you what I've reviewed. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I've reviewed 9 beers since I've been in Saskatchewan. And by far, the Great Western Black Lager is the best one I've had. And I can't believe I'm saying that, because again, the Great Western beers that I had before getting to Saskatchewan or whatever was sent to me by other beer reviewers from this area. And none of them were great. None of them were great. Some of them were okay, but none of them were great. This is fucking fantastic, and I would have kegs of this down here if I had a kegerator. I would buy like 4 kegs at a time and just keep them down here. I love this beer. This is a great beer. And it's just so drinkable. My dad would love this. If my grandmother was still alive, she'd drink this. If my other grandmother could drink beer still, she would drink this with me. They would all drink. My wife would hate it, and that would make me giggle. Like it's a 9.25 out of 10, maybe a 9. No, well, let's see. We have a little bit of beer left. Still, my only drawback is the SRM of it. Other than that ruby red color, I love this beer. This has taken. You know what? You know what? Okay. I believe that I gave the original Silversmith Black Lager a 9.75 out of 10. So I have to give that a 10 out of 10 because that is better. That is better. That is the best black lager I've had in my life. And it's fucking Great Western. Now, is that because I haven't had beer really in a while? Or is that because they're doing that damn good? I don't know. But anyway, good night, guys. Bye.